relevant. Hi. Hello, everyone. How's everyone out there? Hey, Tanya. Well, hello, Anthony. We're a little kind of worried about you there. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Hey, doing good. Everybody out there, it's a little overcast over Savannah this afternoon, but you know, it's still a good day. We're going to have a good time on this podcast this morning. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to your show. Again, this is always your show. Financial Sense is what it's called, and is the newest podcast on the All Things Relevant media platform. And we're excited about you being here and joining us today. And I want you to join in the conversation every Friday at 1 p.m. You can chat with us live on Facebook. We're going to be right here answering your questions and everything. This is All Things Relevant media on Facebook and also on YouTube. I'm Mad Flo. That's me. I'm not crazy, but I like to be called Mad Flo. Now, Mad Flo stands for making a difference for life and others. And basically, that's what we all do here on the show here. We're always making a difference with the information we share. And I'm hoping you're taking great advantage of it, joining us.
Yeah.
We also have two great hosts with us as well, Tanya Scott Pilcher and Anthony Murray. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about Mad Flo here. Mad Flo. I used to be a police officer. I retired in 2007. Did 25 years on the police force, Chatham County, the original Chatham County Police Department. I did those 25 years and decided I was ready to retire, had everything in place where I could retire, because retirement is not about age. Retirement is about having enough money to retire with. And so I did that. I have married to a fabulous husband, 3 lovely daughters, 3 fantastic grandkids, love them to death. And I'm also a financial educator, licensed, certified financial educator with World System Builder, which is a division of World Financial Group. Been doing that since 2013. Enjoy making sure that other people can learn, because you know what? Financial education is power. That's power there. When you have financial education, but when you have that applied, when you apply it, that's powerful. So we want you to apply what you're learning today. So let's hear from our other host today, Tanya Scott, and then we're going to hear from Anthony.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Financial Sense. I am Tanya Scott Pilcher, the owner of GetSkills, where we help people establish a new career in a $1 trillion industry so that they can live their dreams. And with the professional development and training and coaching, we'll get you to your full potential. We have taken many students over the years into financial freedom. And I invite you to reach out, because here in Savannah, we are reaching our goals, changing our income, and changing our outcome. All right, so thank you for allowing me to introduce myself. Anthony, it's on you.
Hey, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, rather. What can I tell you about myself? I have my college major was insurance and real estate. That was way back when. Had opportunity to work with a couple of different companies in my field, actually, which is insurance. And so I worked with a company called Mutual of Omaha. I think you may have heard of them. And another company that you may have heard of called Edward Jones. And now I am currently a licensed professional with a company called World Financial Group, World System Builder. I am a financial literacy educator. What do I like to do? I like to help people learn how money works. I like to see people turn their lives around in the financial realm and do something different to where their money is working for them. All right, their money is doing what it was supposed to do, or what it is supposed to do. Right, it's helping them enjoy life. So that's what I do, and I enjoy doing it. So, folks, you are in for a treat because we're going to talk about the taboo subject of insurance, right? People don't like to talk about that. They don't like to talk about that, but it's one of the most important areas of our life. And I believe Tanya brought it up last time, is that the only time people like to talk about is when somebody died, you know, and then all of a sudden it's the most important topic. But
That's
before
right. And they'll ask you real
that's
quick, why
time,
you don't have none?
huh?
And they'll ask you real quick, why you don't have none? Why they
Right,
didn't get
right.
none?
People get mad, boy. They get mad. They get mad at the day because they didn't have any insurance, right? They want
Right.
to pass the hat and go through all these other little social things to try to raise money, and that's not insurance. You know, insurance is designed to help you uh, when you need that, to help your family when they need that help when you're no longer there. All right. It actually takes your place. All right. Now think about that. If you're the main breadwinner in your home, your job is to provide for your family, right? Provide for your loved ones. But what about when you're gone? That's where insurance kicks in. It provides for your family. It provides for your loved ones. You still have children that's scheduled to go to college. Insurance kicks in. Okay. So, and you're no longer there. So you do your job while you're here. Insurance to do its job when you're gone. Okay. So listen, that's me in a nutshell. I like helping people understand that. And I want to thank you, ladies. I have some great co-hosts, don't I? Look at them. They look good. They look. Tanya, are you back in town?
No, not yet. I'll be back
What?
maybe Monday. Who knows?
What?
You know? Hey, life is great.
Hey
We're
Yeah,
guys,
well, Man Flo is back in Savannah. She's no traveling right now, so she's out of Massachusetts and she's home.
uh-huh.
welcome back
Uh-huh.
to the warm weather.
Welcome back.
Yes, I welcome that very much, very much. Got away from that snow. It had the nerve to snow the 2 days before I was supposed to leave. It had the nerve to snow again.
Mm.
I said, "You
Hey,
got
New England is my
snow."
home. You know, like down here, you get rain and a drop of a dime. Up there, depending on what time of year, I would say any time from September all the way through April. I mean, we had snow on Easter one year. So, hey, you just got to be prepared. And
Yeah.
that's what we want you to be, folks. We want you to be prepared. Hey, ladies, what are we talking about today?
Couple of subjects we're going to talk about. Let's recap from the last 2 weeks. What we talked about. We talked about personal individual insurances last time. We covered term, we covered whole life, universal life, variable universal life, index universal life, and we talked about group life. Now, we talked so much about individual personal. We're going to get into the business part this time. Because there's people out there that have businesses and they want to know how can they insure their employees. And also there's couples out there where instead of getting just an individual policy, there's something that's called a joint life. And we're going to get you to understand how that works. So we're going to talk about joint life today. We're going to talk about key person insurance, and we're going to talk about executive bonus. And we're going to touch base a little bit more on final expense. These are just other insurances coverage that you probably never heard about, never understood. But if you have a business, you probably want to know more about the key person insurance and how it works. So we're going to cover that today. So guys, keep your ears open.
Okay,
And
so
ready to write.
Since I wasn't with you guys last week, why don't we, and then some other people may not be with us. So what if we just do a couple of what's term insurance and then what's whole life, and
Great.
go from there.
I think that's a great idea. I think that's a great idea. Since you are away on vacation and everything,
I see my Aunt Jackie watching. Woohoo! Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike,
Hey,
how's
Mike.
it going,
Glad
man?
to see you,
So good to
Mike.
see you. Yeah, I know. Doesn't she look beautiful? But don't show her that too much. Not too much. Not too much.
I'm still resting.
Knowledge is power. Hey, Thomas Barbie.
Thomas, we appreciate you. I like that fist too. I like that. What is term coverage? That is temporary insurance.
You just
in a nutshell, that's what it is. It's temporary. It's going to expire. I like to define term not only as temporary, but like renting an apartment or renting a house. After a while, that lease runs out. Okay. What is whole life? There's variations of whole life, but whole life is permanent. That's like buying a house, buying a condo. You own the resident. You own this policy, and hopefully you'll have it for a long time. All right. Just in a nutshell, just to give you a real quick definition. Ladies, you want to add something to that?
No, you got a whole life is, for your whole life goes all the way to age 100. So you have insurance all the way to age 100. Just like he said, term life is just a temporary situation.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And some companies still go up to 121 years old, 121. You'll carry that coverage that long, for a whole life. So, but not with term.
And so there are places in time where you find it necessary to buy term insurance. And it's always a good time to buy whole life insurance. And then we have all of the different variances of whole life. So even when we're talking about universal or index universal, those are parts of whole life insurance that allow you to accumulate funds in them. So we are now going to, does anyone have any questions in reference to insurance and what's needed? What are you looking for? If you have any questions out there, we invite you to ask us any questions in reference to insurance at this time. All right. So you said our new topic today, we're going to look at some businesses also, or did I see living benefits?
Let's talk about the joint life first. So because we talked about individual coverage and to get them to understand joint life. And again, y'all can see this book. I'm sharing everything out of this book right here, which is called Saving Your Future. It looks like it wants to disappear, but it's called Saving Your Future. And it is just the basic principles of building a financial foundation. So all the information that we're sharing with you is really coming out of this book here. And if you want to get a copy of this book right here, I'd be more than happy to send a copy to you, or Anthony can send a copy to you. It's $4 for the book, and just send an extra $2 if we have to ship it. So that'd be $6. We can get it to you. But I'm just going to read to you what we're talking about when we talk about joint life insurance. Now, joint life insurance generally covers two people, typically a married couple. Now, there are two types of joint policies typically available: first to die and second, which is last to die. Now, a second to die policy does not pay the benefit until the death of the last surviving spouse. A first to die policy pays out when the first person passes away. So a common purpose of this type of insurance is to protect a business. It could protect a business. Most often it's for estate planning because the benefit is used to minimize or eliminate the burden or estate tax on the heirs. The cost of this type of policy is usually cheaper than if the couple had bought two separate policies. So if you ever want to learn or understand different types of policy, there's one that's called joint life insurance. So just think, if you have a business with your husband, your spouse, and this is a type of insurance you may want to look into getting. And then it probably benefits for you better than having the individual one. And again, this book is so critical to have. Everything really, it's just easy to read book, just 90 something pages, and it's just chock full of financial information. Okay, now I know I own a business. Me and my husband, we have this business together, but I do not have the joint life. But after learning so much about the different types of life insurance, I'm taking a second look to see if maybe I want to go ahead and get that type of insurance. Jackie Mungin, if you would put your information in Facebook, we'll get one too. Just send your email, Jackie Mungin.
That's my auntie. I got her.
You got
Auntie. Oh, well.
Okay, and we put this to it, no problem. Just put your email in there and we get it to you. So, just think about the types of what kind of coverage do you have now? And really, you need to do something called a checkup. And Anthony talked about this last week, a financial checkup. I know I go every 6 months to get my teeth clean. And then that way I don't have to worry about putting so much more money in if my teeth are coming out or any kind of problem, because I do the maintenance. And I got a beautiful smile. All
yes,
these are mine.
Yes, you do.
All these are mine. So I do a 6 months checkup, to my dentist. I do my annual checkup to my doctor. And since I became a financial financial educator and learned this information, I do my financial checkup myself. So you want to make sure you're doing that as well, because life challenge, things happen in life. I mean, I got another granddaughter. So guess what? I have to go and redo my will now. So that's my financial checkup. I have to make sure my baby is covered with life insurance. So life happens, changes are going to happen. So you have to make sure you do your financial checkup every year, annually. Because if you're going to preventive measures work a whole lot better than getting sick. Okay, guys, you want to add anything to that?
No, I mean, there's nothing else really to say to that. Don't wait to the last moment. Let me mention that. A lot of people wait, and someone's in a hospital, then they want to make sure they got everything together. The wrong time. You're going to miss something. You're going to panic. You're going to get so emotionally involved in the situation that you're going to overlook something. You need to look into this, have a financial checkup before anything occurs. All right. Because as I mentioned, your insurance is to take your place. All right. You're the breadwinner. You provide the money. You put grocery on the table. You pay the light bill. You pay the mortgage. Whatever. All right. When you and I leave, we're no longer there to do that. But insurance will be there to do that for us. So you want to have a financial checkup. And if you need to update your will or your trust, if you could afford a trust, get a trust. They're much better to have. You will avoid probate altogether. All right. But if you can't get a trust, get a will. Just make sure that you're covered way ahead of time. Time to go ahead. You look like you're itching to say something.
I am itching to just say that this is the time. So even if you have something already in place, but this is the time. This is a pandemic. We're in a pandemic, and you need to look right now at your financial situation, at your insurance, and make sure those things are in place at this time, not later, because anything can happen. And that's what we've noticed, that different things have been, happening in people's life unexpectedly because of COVID. And so
that's right.
We've had too much unexpected. And so if you go ahead and take care of things right now and no longer wait, this is the time. So if you have something and need us to, someone to review it, or if you don't have something, you definitely need to put it in place. It is never too late. There's all different types of insurances. So unless you're over the age of 80, then it may be a little late, but you can go ahead and just pay for your final expenses at whatever funeral home or things like that. But as far as getting insurance, you need to do it. This is the time. Too much unexpected things are happening.
That's true.
And believe it or not, audience, you can search around, you can research, you can actually find companies that are now giving insurance to people who are 80 years of age.
80 years of age, yeah.
80 is a little too. So there are insurance companies that are still, servicing people 80 years. It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you more, but you have an opportunity to get it. So we really need to take a look into that.
You know what? I that's a really good point, because I know we have a couple of companies that will give insurance up to like 85 years of age. But and I know it's going to cost more, but is it going to cost more? All right. Which one's going to cost more? To not have it or to have it?
Right.
I mean, think about it. It's going to cost you a lot more if you don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
No, not you, because you'll be gone. It's going to cost your family a lot more. Or, and one of the things I tell people is this. Is your family in a position right now, if you were to go home, well, I'm a Christian, I'm a pastor. So is your family in a position right now, if you were to go home, if you were to transition in life, is your family in a position to go ahead and kick out $10,000, $15,000, $20,000? Or are you going to have to pass the hat? Or what's the name of the other thing that people use?
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe, not insurance. Oh my God, it is not insurance.
Uh-huh.
And they take their fees off the top, so you don't get all.
Hey guys, let me read something to the audience that is an opener for them, may open their eyes. This is, and I send this out whenever I close an insurance policy on one of my clients. When I deliver the policy, I also deliver this letter that I'm about to read to you, and I'm gonna put it on Facebook so you can see this letter as well. This is, I am your insurance policy. You and I have similar purposes in this world. It is your job to provide food, clothing, shelter, schooling, medicine, and other things for loved ones. You do this while I lie in your safe deposit box. Okay? Now, I have faith and trust in you. Out of your earnings will come the cost of my upkeep. At times, I may appear insignificant to you, but someday, and who knows when, you and I will change places. When you are laid to rest, I may be used to help provide food, clothing, shelter, schooling, medicine, and other things your family will continue to need.
Yep.
Just as you are doing now. When your work and labor are done, mine will begin. Through me, your hands carry on. Whenever you feel the price you're paying for my upkeep is burdensome, remember that I can do more for you and your family than you will ever do for me. If you do your part, I will do mine. Sincerely, your life insurance policy. So you guys need to look at it just like that. Replacement income. That life insurance policy is going to be a replacement income. I send that out. When I deliver a policy, I deliver that letter with my client's policy as well. I have them to tuck that into their policy folder so they can realize, this is your replacement income right here. Okay. Right. So recap on what we did last week. Anything else we want to talk about? Well, we touched bases on UL, VUL, IUL, and also let's talk about that group life insurance. Group
Right.
life insurance is what? You only get group life insurance if you're employed. Now, if you're looking for, if you cannot get insured, you can't get insurance no matter what. You tried. You find a job that has group insurance, guess what? You got coverage automatically, long as you're on that job for at least 90 days. So now you're covered. You don't have to worry about going through something called underwriting, getting approved for it. It's automatic. But guess what?
Right.
They give it to you automatically. You don't have to pay for it. But guess what? When you leave that job, they're not going to let you take that with you.
No,
So
they're
if
not going to let
you're
you take.
working, you have group life insurance, it's always a good idea to have an outside personal policy as well. It can be any type, whether it's term, whole life, universal, variable universal, index universal, does not matter what type it is, as long as it's suitable for you. Don't just rely on group health insurance, group insurance, life insurance, because once you leave, that don't go with you.
And
Doesn't go with
so many people think that they have coverage because they have it on their job.
you.
And so we just want to remind you, for those of you that are employed, is that you get a life insurance policy outside of the job. And
That's
it's
right.
time to do that because you do plan to move from, well, most people plan, this younger group of people moves
Yeah.
from job to job. And you do plan to retire one day. So when you retire, you don't want to be looking for life insurance. You want to already have that in place. And I'd like to remind those people that are working for the state of Georgia, so that is our teachers, that when you retire and decide to take your life insurance policy with you, is that it's going to, first of all, at the very beginning of it, that amount is going to decrease when you retire. And then as you get older, it continues to decrease. It's going to be a decreasing policy. So when you need it most, or when your family needs it most, you will have nothing. And so it's really late to get a policy at 65. It's not that you can't, it's really late. And you should have done that earlier. So please don't be supported 100% by your job. You need to have something outside of your job. And again, I want to say, with the changes with employment and so forth during this pandemic, you never know when your jobs are going to have to let you go because things haven't gotten any better, So you need to begin to think about that. Hello, Mr. Goodman. So that's one of my pet peeves. And so I even watch my family and friends that work for the city and the state, and like Mr. Goodman is saying, even federal employees, they all have these wonderful life insurance policies. And I can tell you that even when I was employed, there would be these financial people that would come into the cafeteria area to talk with us, and I would dread going. But oh my gosh, when I finally got enough common sense to sit down and talk with them, oh my goodness, I was able to begin to really save outside of just on the job, and then learn some other things about financial freedom and how you need to set your life up in order to be prepared for retirement. Because we don't want to be at a point where we have to go back to work after retirement. So insurance is a vehicle to also increase your income or have money to put away.
Okay. Now, another type, if you're in a business that you want to consider, is something called key person. Now, what is a key person? And again, to make it simple, I'm going to read just from this book right here because I want y'all to realize this is resources.
I'm going to show it, Flo, because
there you go.
In ghost town. Here we go. Here we go.
Key person insurance. It's simply a life insurance policy on the key person in a business Normally, it applies to the owner or key employee, people who are very important to the business. If something were to happen to them, the company or business may not survive. The company buys the life insurance on these key persons, pays the premium, and is the beneficiary of the policy. So just think, if you have a business right now, you have a key person. This person, you're in your business, you may have 10 employees. We have one person who basically runs everything, knows everything, how to run that business, everything in place. And he passes away, something happens to him, the company almost going to shut down, because that was the go-to person. That was the one that knew everything, how to run the business basically, besides yourself. So now you have, being the employer, you took out the life insurance, the company is the beneficiary. So now guess what? You can cash in on that policy to keep your business afloat. Okay, so to keep your business afloat, you can do that. So I want people to think out there who own a business. Do you have a key person that you may want to get some type of insurance, get a coverage on them, so that your business will not falter if that key person, passes away unexpectedly, whatever. So that's another type of insurance that we want people to be aware of. Business type. If you're in a business, you need to know these different types of life insurance as well. Okay.
And there are so many people in our city that have businesses that do not have any type of insurance.
Agree. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so we want to talk to you desperately in reference to covering yourself and your business, whether you have a small home business or if you have a big business in the city, that you really do need to focus on getting insurance for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and for your business, so you can protect it. You spend all of this time, making money and putting things in order for you and your family, and then when you're gone, we just. And I'm not going to use those nice words like Michael Murray. When you die, because that's what's real. When you die, not going home. When you die,
no more you.
no more you.
No more you.
You still have to support and keep your business afloat. And even as, us as insurance agents or financial advisors, we have the same concerns. So we have to protect our families and protect ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I saw Julius Hall put up a question in reference to homestead tax exemptions. We can cover that definitely, because there are ways that you can save money as you get older. The government, believe it or not, kind of helps you out with taxes. So if you're 70 years of age or older, you don't have to pay homeowners and taxes in Chatham County. So you have to apply for it. And once you apply for it, it goes in effect, but you have to go down to the courthouse. There's a form that you need to fill out, and we'll cover more detail on homestead tax exemptions. And another one that you want to look at, another homestead tax exemption you want to look at, is when you first purchase your home. You need to go down there to the court, to the commissioner's office, and do what? You need to file for your homestead tax exemptions there.
Do it right away.
You need to do that, because I know a lot of people that, not a lot, but few that have asked me about it, and they were 5 years in owning their home, or 10 years in owning their home, and they never took the time out to go down to the tax office and fill out those paperwork. You're going to save yourself some money.
First opportunity I had when I found out about it, I filed that thing. I was like, waste no time, get it done. Now, someone just brought up a suggestion about covering tax auctions as a way of building wealth. Yeah, absolutely. It's a wealth building opportunity when you go down to the county tax. You have to find out when they're having the auctions, and you have to be prepared. All right, you have to have monies available for your deposit, and then I suggest this: get pre-qualified, know where you're at first, have some money available. And then when you go, you find out when they are. Then when you go to the auction itself,
Right.
you have to have that deposit. All right, the required deposit. You have to have that, and then go ahead and apply for the mortgage. They give you so much time to do that. But
Yeah.
that's something that we can definitely get into further down the road as a means of building wealth. We talked a little bit last week about index universal life, or it is another type of life insurance that you could. It's not a savings account. Let me mention that up front. It's not a savings account, but it offers a way that it will build cash value
Cash value.
in a very healthy manner. Now,
You can overfund your premium. You can pay more than your target premium. So what
right,
he's talking about is not a savings account, but it gives an opportunity to put more money into your plan on a monthly basis, or annually, or quarterly, and that extra money goes towards the cash value. So you
that's
want to
right,
build your cash value, and that's how you build your cash value in something called an index universal life plan. You can also do that in a universal life plan as well.
right.
It gives an opportunity. It's
Or
more flexible than a whole life plan.
that's right. Or you
Mhm.
can put it in what is called a indexed annuity, which is another insurance vehicle. So there's different ways you could really put money away. And let me tell you something really good. There's the taxes are deferred. All right, taxes are deferred, and you could actually withdraw money out. All right, you ready for this? I hope y'all sitting down. You ready for this? You can take money out of that index universal life, and it's tax free, and the
Tax.
benefits are tax free. So you can actually schedule it to where um, the money will start coming out over a certain period of time, and over a period of time, and as that money come out, it's tax free. All right, so yes, you can borrow against that policy, the index universal life. You can borrow against it. You can borrow against a whole life, but if you borrow against a whole life, you better be ready, because that's going to decrease the the uh, the amount of coverage you have unless you pay it back. All right,
It's
so
gonna,
it works a
yeah,
little different.
yeah. And two things: the difference between index universal life plan and a whole life plan is this. There's couple of major differences. Now, you can only borrow from a whole life plan.
Only
You can
borrow.
only borrow from a whole life plan. Now, when you borrow from your whole life insurance, just realize this: you're probably growing interest on your cash value anywhere between 3 to 4%. Now, when you borrow against your cash value, you're going to pay probably about 8% interest on that money that you borrow. And then it does decrease the death benefit if you do not pay that loan back. Now, the difference with index universal life is this. Okay, you have two options. You can borrow against your cash value and you
That's
don't
right.
pay taxes. You can make a withdrawal. You don't have to borrow. You can just make a withdrawal from
That's
your
right.
cash value, and you don't pay taxes on your money. So you just think about that. And when you borrow from an index universal life plan, okay, now think of this. What kind of interest do you think you're going to be paying back? Your interest rate is probably going to be anywhere, probably about 2.75%. The one that I have is 2.75%. That's the interest that I pay. But it's a wash out loan. Basically, the interest after a number of years, you're going to be paying zero interest
Zero.
on that loan. So
Yeah.
it's a washout loan. So what I want you guys to do, you buy this book here, $4, $2 if you want me to ship it.
Can't
And
nobody see that book.
then
Yeah, let me do it. Let me do it for you.
in this book here. Do your research. And I want to touch bases on one
Yeah,
other
y'all
thing
see
you
that?
talked about, saving your future. You guys, I want you to listen to this. When someone talked about auction, using an auction to to increase your income, you can do that. You have to make sure, just like Anthony said, make sure everything is in place. So I've done this. I went down to the courthouse in my younger years when I was like 32, 33 years old, just learning about it.
Hold on, wait a minute, Flo. You telling us you're old now?
Yes, I am. older. But I went down to, you go to the courthouse where they have the delinquent tax auction, is what it's called, for delinquent taxes. I mean, I was able to buy property that was valued at 15,000 because someone wasn't able to pay their taxes. I got it for 2,500. Did another one that was valued at 10,000 because someone wasn't able to pay their taxes. I was able to get it for 1,500. Another one, 20,000. I was able to get that one for about 2,800. So and they do this once a month. It used to be on Thursdays I think it was Thursdays, the first Thursday of the month, 10 a.m. I'm not sure of the schedule yet, but Anthony did tell you something. You have to be prepared. Do your research. I didn't do property. I didn't do houses. I did land. I didn't do houses. If you're going to do any kind of structure, you have to make sure there's no mortgage on it, because if you get it, you got a mortgage. If you buy that, you got a mortgage. So you make sure there's no mortgage on it, make sure there's no lien on it. And whatever amount that you're auctioning for, that you're purchasing for, you have to have that amount that day. So I always made sure that I never went over what I was planning on doing an auction on. So if I said 2,500 and the bids went over $2,501, I stopped, because I was just going to do, I let whoever's going to get it. Now, guess what? That property that I have now, all the property that I purchased at the courthouse steps, they're paid off. There's no lien on them. I never did, borrow money to get that. So all that's tax free. Guess what? I mean, not tax free. All of that is free and clear. 5 lots, free and clear. That's my retirement, because my plan is in the next a couple more years, I'm selling all of that with my houses. But the first thing I'm gonna do with my houses, borrow against my rental property. Then I sell my rental property. Why would I do that? I borrow against the equity because I don't have to pay taxes on anything I borrow. Loans, you don't pay taxes. But if I was to outright and sell it, then I have to pay taxes on the profit. So I prefer to pay. If I sell it for, and the money's going to pay it off. So there's things that you need to do. Understand how life insurance works, how it can definitely work in your favor if you understand it.
James is bringing up about dividends and the whole life.
There are some great
dividends. You know what a dividend is, James? It's an overpayment. If that's all it is, it's an overpayment. And the insurance company said, "Hey, you paid us too much. We're going to give you back something." All right.
But they don't have to give that money back with that dividend. You can do a choice.
That's right.
You have to buy more insurance with that dividend. So they can take the cash out if they want, or they can take and say, okay, I want to buy additional insurance. If the dividend was, let's say $200, okay, I can buy more insurance with that. So they have options on that dividend, and the dividend is great. Just like you said, it's an overpayment on what we're already paying.
Yeah, that's all that is. So don't get caught up in that. Just understand exactly how it works is very important. One thing I want to add to what Flo was saying about the auction, the land auction, the homeowner auctions, all that stuff, for tax purposes, very important is that those owners could come back within 12 months if they have the money.
And one day
they could pay that stuff off and get that property back. They may have to fight for it a little bit, but they have that right to do that. All right. So just be prepared. Hey, look.
And Anthony, with that being said, they can purchase the property back, but they purchase it back with 10%. So the person who purchased it will make 10% off of that. And that happened to me. I did have to return one of them back. I didn't, and it was way after the year. I didn't have to, but I just went on and just returned it. But they have 12 months and 1 day. After that, 1 day is over, and that 12 months, it's it.
Hey, Mike asked you where you going after you sell everything.
Mike, wherever you are, I'm coming with you. Wherever you are, you're in Texas, I'm coming to Texas.
That's funny. That's funny. Hey, listen, guys. You know, a lot of people like a personal trainer. They like somebody when it comes to learning about insurance. They want to go to school where they could sit down and talk with somebody. Tanya, tell us about your school, please.
Oh, yes. And what we do at GetSkills is that we make sure that you know exactly what you are doing. Now, at GetSkills, we do training for those that want to get their insurance license, along with continuing education for those that are already licensed in the state of Georgia, South Carolina, Texas, and California. I believe those are some of the places that we are at this particular time. And yes, we are doing life and health, and in July we will start doing property and casualty. But part of what we do there is that we also set up classes where we can teach those that want to know.
Mike.
Get rid of my wife now.
But make sure she's covered with good insurance.
Oh man, gotta make sure her name not on that deal. Or it might be crazy.
Too much. Go ahead, Tanya. Sorry.
So we hold workshops for people that want to just know more in reference to life insurance, health insurance, Medicare, property and casualty. So we are a full service insurance company where we try to provide you with everything, but more important, all of us, all three of us, and possibly any other insurance agent that you meet, we dedicate our life into educating you about financial services, what's available through insurance. That's all we want to do. Yeah, James, I'm gonna come to Florida.
Come on into Florida. Hey, look, something that James brought up about modified endowment contracts. That's very important. You can overfund but listen, James, very important for you to know that on the contracts we talked about, the indexed universal life, all we do is check a box. And what happens is that the insurance company will notify the client that they're reaching that point of putting too much money, and they will actually stop and let them know you don't have to make any more payments this month or that month or whatever the case. So there's some safety measures involved, some safety in there to help the customer so that they don't put too much in. And then for us as an agent, when we're filling out the contract, we just check a box. All right, we just one key on the computer, or we use a mouse. See my mouse? Just use my mouse, and I just click one little button, and that way, that will help so that the person does not overfund to where it becomes a modified endowment or a MEC. All right,
so the company automatically adjusts the premium and the payment
automatically
12-month period.
Yeah, and let me give an example. I was putting one together for someone, and for 2 or 3 months, the premium was actually zero. All right. Why was it zero? So this way, to keep that contract from becoming a modified or MEC, modified endowment contract. So the companies today have put safety measures in to make sure that it doesn't become that. But as professionals, it's very important that we check that little box, because you're exactly right. We don't want that. If something becomes a MEC, what happens? You lose that tax advantage.
It's no longer seen as insurance policy. It's seen as investment vehicle only. So you get no tax advantages with it. Yeah.
So that's extremely, extremely, extremely important. Now, what else are we going to talk about here? We have a whole bunch of time left. I know we had some more stuff on our agenda. We talked about Tanyas School. And Tanya,
yes.
do you do online or just in person?
Well, normally I just do in person, but now we're going to start doing some classes online. We have our next class coming up April 17th. We have, because we are expanding a little, or we have so much interest, We're able to do some courses. We're going to do this course online, but we will have a classroom setting where people will be right there in the class. So it's Saturday and Sunday, the 17th and 18th, and then the next following week, the 24th and 25th. So it's amazing the number of people that are interested in getting their insurance license. I got about 32 people that have shown lots of interest. And so we'll see who shows up for the class. But, you know, this is an awesome field to be in, and definitely a $1 trillion industry. And so this business, we all know for sure that this business can change your life and help you to make a lot of money and help a lot of people. You just got to have the heart to help people. If you don't have that heart, there's no sense in you being in this business. Okay, so it's not about the money, it's about the assistance that you can give to other people.
And Tanya, I am signing up for your what is it, the health, Medicare, Medicaid, whenever you have that class.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I want to take that class from Tanya.
Tell us about that class.
Well, that's scheduled for July. And in July, we will have a Medicare 101 training and providing information to first our insurance agents. And then second, we'll have a seminar for those people that are turning 65. So we have monthly seminars for those that are turning 65, and we do most of those on Zoom. So
so your agent class, the one for the agent, the ones who want to become licensed, that's going to be in July?
That's going to be in July. We'll have that July, August, and September, just doing the preparation before the Medicare season. Okay. And then we will have, like I said, for the community, those that are turning 65 or those that just want to learn more about Medicare, those will be every single month.
Okay, now when are you going to start with the securities license? I asked you that before.
Yes, me and my buddy that's online here, Mr. James Goodman, we're going to do that at the same time. So, we'll see. That'll be sometime real soon.
Well, when you get that one, I'll join you on that one.
Yes, he is. Okay. All right. So I think one of the other things is we were going to talk about final expense, or are we going to talk about living benefits?
Let's talk about final expense. Let's talk about that.
So we got about a few more minutes, not a whole lot, but we look at final expense as one of those whole life insurance policies that you don't. Somebody said you don't want to do Medicare. All right, Lincoln.
It is tedious.
So those final expense policies are out there available for those of you that are over the age of 55 and have maybe a little something going on in your health that you may want to look at doing a final expense policy. It is a whole life policy.
Yeah, it is a whole, and usually final expense policies, they don't provide a lot of coverage. So they may go up $50,000, $60,000. They're not going up a couple of $100,000. That's not a final expense. I mean, it could, in your eyes, it might be. All right. But the companies that provide final expense policies, usually it's just 50, 60,000. It's not a whole bunch. All right. But depending on your age, the cost might seem like a whole bunch. All right. So what do you do if you have 5,000, like a lot of people that they're in their 60s, they bought insurance when they were young, they just got married or whatever, they usually bought like maybe $5,000, $7,000 of coverage. Well, with inflation, there's a change, right? So you're gonna have to have that financial checkup, and you're gonna have to add to that. All right, the average burial today, if you want a full-blown funeral, all right, is ranging somewhere between 15 and 25, maybe even $30,000. Okay, so you want to make sure now. we have a final expense policy that actually comes with a will. It's just a basic will. A phenomenal company. It's also a concierge. It offers a concierge service. What does that mean? They communicate with the funeral home on behalf of the family. And it's the funeral home of your choice. So you may specify, I have these few funeral homes that I like. This, of course, you're specifying this because you're alive, right? and you specify these are the funeral homes. This is where I want to be buried. Da da da. Well, they go ahead and they go to work for you. All right. Remember the letter that Matt Flo read. All right. The insurance policy, the insurance company, they do that. And so it's concierge, white glove service. Just like you go to a hotel and you have a concierge and you want to know, hey, where's the best place to eat? This concierge service provides service for your family, and they communicate, helping you to eliminate all of the unnecessary emotional trauma. It's emotional death is emotional enough.
Yes.
It's very emotional. All right. If you never worked on putting a funeral together, it's a very emotional thing. So this concierge service, they communicate on your behalf. Extremely important. There's a lot of things that come with that. So let's go ahead and close this out. We have a couple of minutes left. Hey guys, if you have a particular show that you'd like for us to do, then you need to let us know. Our information is going across the bottom. If you like one of these books, you need to let us know. Our phone numbers are right there. You can call. All right. You can call us and we'll get one. And Tanya's auntie, look, you get a book, you don't even have to pay for the shipping because Tanya's going to pay for it.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah, we just put in Tanya's hand. That's all we got to do.
All right. Well, we look forward and thank everyone for being with us this week. We'll be back on next Friday. Bring your late lunch with you and enjoy a little bit about financial sins. I'm Tanyas Scott, and I look forward to being with you.
Tanya, we're going to be doing annuities and retirements next week. We're going to be discussing that. This is Ned Flo. So if y'all want to close this out, let them know about what's that thing called? Relevant.
Media. Matt Flo, you got your long-term care up to date?
I need to get mine in. My mind is going. He says I can never pronounce the word right. So I let you guys do that part.
You like us on Facebook. Make sure that you like all things relevant media on Facebook. Make sure you like it, okay? And you saw James Goodman. He's licensed in Florida. So if you're in Florida, and a couple other states, right? Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, right along with me. Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and I'm in Texas. Get ready to get licensed, Delaware. Oh, yes. My goodness. Hey, Tanya, go ahead and close this out, huh?
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you next week. Be there. Don't be square. Financial Sins. That's our name. See you later.
Yours, Joe.